I'm writing this from the floor of what was supposed to be our honeymoon suite. The reservation couldn't be cancelled. So here I am, alone, surrounded by rose petals I didn't order and champagne I can't drink. 3 days before my wedding, Daniel called it off. Not postponed. Cancelled. The venue, the flowers, the caterer for 200 guests. All of it, gone. He did it quietly, methodically, like he was closing a business deal instead of destroying our entire future. He wouldn't look at me when he said it. Just kept his eyes on his phone, texting his groomsmen, his family, anyone who needed to know that the wedding was off. Why? I kept asking. Daniel, please, just tell me why. He finally looked up. His eyes were empty. That's what scared me most. Not anger, not sadness. Nothing. Ask your mother, he said. Then he left. I sat in our apartment for 6 hours, trying to understand. We've been together for 4 years. Engaged for 8 months. We'd survived long distance, family drama, career changes. I thought we'd survived everything. I called him 47 times that night. He didn't answer once. I called my mom the next morning. Mom, what did you tell Daniel? There was a long pause. Too long. I told him the truth, sweetheart. The truth you should have told him yourself. My stomach dropped. What truth? About Marcus. About what really happened in Seattle. The room tilted. Marcus. I hadn't heard that name out loud in 3 years. I buried it so deep I almost convinced myself it never happened. Almost. Mom, you promised. You swore you would never. I couldn't let you marry him with that lie between you. He deserved to know who he was really marrying. My hands started shaking. That wasn't your decision to make. You made it my decision when you asked me to keep your secret. I carried that weight for 3 years, watching you plan this perfect wedding, knowing it was built on a lie. I did what was right. I hung up. Then I threw my phone across the room and watched it shatter against the wall. Here's what my mother told Daniel, the story I spent 3 years running from. 4 years ago, before Daniel and I got serious, I was dating someone else. His name was Marcus. We've been together for 2 years, living together for 1. Everyone thought we'd get married. I thought we'd get married. Then I met Daniel at a work conference. It wasn't love at first sight. It was worse. It was recognition. Like looking at someone and seeing the life you were supposed to have. He was brilliant, funny, kind in ways that felt effortless. Marcus was good to me, but Daniel was different. Better. I told myself it was just attraction. A crush. It would pass. It didn't. Cast out. Daniel and I started texting after the conference. Just work stuff at first. Then personal stuff. Then everyday stuff. Good morning texts. Good night texts. Texts that made me smile at my phone while Marcus sat across from me at dinner. I knew what I was doing. I knew it was wrong. I did it anyway. 3 months after meeting Daniel, I was emotionally gone from my relationship with Marcus. Everyone could see it except Marcus. He kept planning our future while I was already living in a different one. I should have broken up with him then. Clean break. Honest conversation. But I didn't. Because I wasn't sure Daniel felt the same way. We'd never talked about our feelings. Never crossed any physical lines. I was too scared to blow up my stable relationship for something that might just be in my head. So I kept Marcus as my safety net while I figured out if Daniel wanted me. Then came the Seattle conference. Daniel was going. I volunteered to go, even though my boss thought it was weird since I'd just been to a conference. Marcus thought it was weird too. I told him it was important for my career. I lied. Seattle was where everything I'd been pretending wasn't happening became real. Daniel and I had dinner the first night. The conference center restaurant, nothing fancy. We talked for 4 hours. He told me about his divorce, his daughter, his fears about dating again. I told him about my family, my dreams, my doubts about everything. I didn't mention Marcus. At the end of dinner, Daniel walked me to my room. We stood outside my door for what felt like an hour but was probably 2 minutes. I need to tell you something, he said. And you can tell me I'm crazy, but I have to say it. My heart was pounding so hard I thought he could hear it. I think about you all the time. I know this is complicated. I know you're with someone. But I can't keep pretending this is just friendship. I'm falling for you. I should have told him about Marcus right then. Should have said, I need to handle my relationship first, then we can talk about this. But I didn't. I kissed him instead. We didn't sleep together that night. But we did everything else. We stayed up until 4 a.m., talking, kissing, making promises about our future. Our future. Not mine and Marcus's. Mine and Daniel's. I need to end things with him, I said at some point, curled into Daniel's chest on the hotel room floor. It's not fair to him. It hasn't been fair for months. I know, Daniel said. But do it because it's right, not because of me. I'll wait. However long you need, I'll wait. I flew home the next day planning to break up with Marcus immediately. Then I walked into our apartment and Marcus had cooked dinner. My favorite. He'd bought flowers. He was smiling. I missed you, he said. I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw everything I was about to destroy. His trust. His plans. His belief that we were solid. I chickened out. I missed you too, I said. I meant to break up with him the next day. Then the next week. Then the right moment. I was still with Marcus 6 weeks later. Daniel was patient at first. Understanding. We kept texting, kept talking about our future, but I could feel him getting frustrated. He'd ask when I was going to have the conversation and I'd make excuses. Finally, he gave me an ultimatum. I can't be the other man in your life anymore. You need to decide. Him or me. This week. I chose Daniel. Of course I chose Daniel. I broke up with Marcus on a Tuesday night. He'd just gotten home from the gym. He was in a good mood, talking about planning a trip to see his parents. I interrupted him. We need to talk. You know how people say they'll never forget the look on someone's face? I will never forget Marcus's face in that moment. The confusion, then the realization, then the collapse. Are you breaking up with me? Yes. Why? What happened? Did I do something? No. You didn't do anything. I don't feel the same way anymore. He started crying. Actual tears. I'd never seen him cry before. Is there someone else? This was my chance to be honest. To give him that, at least. No, I said. There's no one else. I just need to figure out what I want. Another lie. He begged me to reconsider. To go to counseling. To give him a chance to fix whatever was wrong. I said no to everything. He moved out 3 days later. I helped him pack. We were civil, almost friendly. He kept hoping, I think, that I'd change my mind. That this was just a phase. The night he left, he hugged me at the door. If you ever want to try again, he said, I'm here. I'll always be here. I nodded, knowing I'd never take him up on it. Daniel came over the next night. I told myself I'd waited a respectful amount of time. I told myself I'd done the right thing by ending it with Marcus first. Both more lies I believed because they were convenient. Daniel and I went public 2 weeks later. Changed our relationship status, started posting pictures together. My friends were shocked by how fast I'd moved on. They said supportive things anyway, because that's what friends do. Marcus saw the posts. He called me, crying again. 2 weeks? You moved on in 2 weeks? After 2 years together? I'm sorry, I said. I didn't plan this. You're with him, aren't you? The guy from work. That's why you ended things. I could have lied again. Should have lied again, probably. But I was tired of lying. Yes. Were you with him before? When we were together. This was it. The moment of truth. No, I said. Nothing physical happened until after we broke up. Technically true. Technically a lie. But you wanted to be with him. That's why you ended it. Yes. He hung up. I cried for about 10 minutes. Then Daniel came over and distracted me and I convinced myself I'd done the right thing. The hard thing, but the right thing. Marcus's friends reached out over the next few weeks. Some angry, some just confused. I blocked most of them. I didn't need their judgment. I knew what I'd done. I'd chosen happiness. That's allowed, right? People fall out of love. It happens. That's what I told myself. That's what I told my mom when she asked why I'd moved on so fast. Mom, it wasn't working with Marcus. Daniel and I connected. Sometimes that happens. She didn't buy it. She never bought it. When did you meet Daniel? At a conference. Months ago. How many months? I should have lied. Added more time, made it seem less calculated. 3 months before the breakup. Her face changed. She knew. You were emotionally cheating on him. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? I broke down. Told her everything. The texts, Seattle, the lying, all of it. Mom, please don't judge me. I know it was wrong. But I'm happy now. Daniel makes me happy. She was quiet for a long time. Does Daniel know? Does he know you were with someone else when you met him? He knows I was dating someone. He knows I broke up with him to be with Daniel. Does he know you lied to Marcus? That you kept him as a backup while you tested the waters with Daniel? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? She asked again. I couldn't answer. You need to tell Daniel the truth. All of it. Before you get more serious. I can't. He'll leave me. Then he deserves to leave you. You don't get to build a relationship on lies and expect it to last. Please don't tell him, Mom. Please. I'm begging you. She sighed. I won't tell him. But you should. He deserves to know who he's with. I promised I would tell him. Someday. When the time was right. The time was never right. Daniel and I moved in together 6 months later. Got engaged 8 months after that. Started planning a wedding. Every time I thought about telling him, I'd look at how happy we were and think, why ruin this? The past is the past. Marcus has moved on. I've moved on. What good would it do to drag all that up now? My mom disagreed. She brought it up every few months. Have you told Daniel yet? Not yet. You need to tell him before the wedding. I will. I promise. Another lie. The wedding got closer. Daniel's family flew in. My friends threw me a bachelorette party. Everything was perfect. Then, 3 days before the wedding, my mom invited Daniel to lunch. I didn't know about it. She didn't tell me. She told him everything. Every lie I'd told Marcus. Every lie I'd told Daniel. The emotional affair. Seattle. The backup plan. Everything. I'm sorry to do this to you, she told him, according to what she told me later. But you deserve to know the truth about who you're marrying. My daughter is a lot of things, but she's not honest. Not about this. Daniel left the restaurant. Cancelled the wedding. Packed his things. He won't talk to me. Won't see me. His family won't talk to me either. The wedding venue is trying to sue me for the deposit. 200 people are asking questions I can't answer. My friends keep calling, trying to understand what happened. I told them Daniel got cold feet. I couldn't tell them the truth. But his friends know. His family knows. And they're not keeping quiet. Now everyone knows. The girl from my office who knew Marcus? She messaged me yesterday. Karma's real, huh? I blocked her. But she's right. I'm sitting on the floor of a honeymoon suite, alone, because I couldn't tell the truth. Because I thought I could outrun my choices. My mom keeps calling. I won't answer. She says she did this for my own good, that honesty is the only foundation for a real marriage. Maybe she's right. But I don't care if she's right. She destroyed my life to prove a point. And the worst part? The part that keeps me up at night? I can't even be mad at her. Because everything she told Daniel was true. It's been 2 weeks since Daniel left. I haven't showered in 3 days. I've called in sick to work 6 times. My apartment smells like old takeout and defeat. I finally answered my mom's calls yesterday. Big mistake. Honey, I know you're hurting, but this needed to happen. You can't build a marriage on lies. You have no right, I said. My voice sounded hollow, like it was coming from someone else's body. I had every right. You made me complicit in your lie. For 3 years, I watched you play happy couple while I knew the truth. Do you know what that did to me? What it did to you? Yes, to me. Every time Daniel talked about how lucky he was, how honest and real your relationship felt compared to his marriage, I had to sit there knowing it was all based on a lie. I had to smile at wedding planning meetings knowing he didn't know the real you. The real me? I made one mistake. One. And I've been a good partner to him for 4 years. One mistake? Her voice got sharp. Sweetheart, you had an emotional affair for months. You lied to Marcus's face every single day. You used him as a security blanket while you auditioned his replacement. You lied to Daniel about how your last relationship ended. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern. I hung up on her again. But her words stayed in my head. Pattern. I've been lying to myself for 2 weeks, saying this was just about Daniel finding out I wasn't perfect. That he overreacted. That my mom sabotaged me. But late at night, when I can't sleep, I know the truth. Daniel didn't leave because of what I did 3 years ago. He left because of who I am. I found out yesterday that Marcus knows everything. One of Daniel's groomsmen is friends with one of Marcus's college buddies. Small world. The story made its way back to him. Marcus called me. First time we'd spoken in 3 years. I heard about your wedding, he said. I couldn't speak. I'm not calling to gloat. I'm calling because I need to say something I should have said 3 years ago. Marcus. No. Let me talk. When you broke up with me, you destroyed me. I mean, really destroyed me. I thought we were solid. I thought we were planning a future. Then one random Tuesday you just ended it. No warning. No real explanation. I'm sorry. I don't want your apology. I want you to understand what you did. I couldn't eat for weeks. Couldn't sleep. My work suffered. My friendships suffered. I started therapy because I couldn't understand what I'd done wrong. My therapist kept asking if there were signs I'd missed, and I kept saying no, everything was fine. We were happy. His voice cracked. Then 2 weeks later I see you with him. Daniel. All over social media. Looking at him the way you used to look at me. And I realized you weren't figuring out what you wanted. You already knew. You'd known for months. You just kept me around until you were sure he wanted you back. That's not. It wasn't like that. Yes, it was. And you know what the worst part was? You looked so happy. Like leaving me was the best decision you'd ever made. Like I was just this obstacle you cleared on your way to your real life. I was crying now. Ugly crying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you are. Now. But you weren't sorry then. You were relieved. Relieved you didn't have to pretend anymore. Relieved you got what you wanted without consequences. I did have consequences. I lost you. I hurt you. But you didn't care. Not really. Because you had Daniel. That's not a consequence. That's a trade-up. He was right. I hadn't cared. Not enough. The universe has a funny way of evening things out, Marcus continued. Now you know what it feels like. To think everything is fine. To be planning forever with someone. Then to have it ripped away by something you didn't see coming. By secrets and lies. Are you happy about this? Is this satisfying for you? No, he said quietly. I'm not happy. I don't want you to hurt. I wanted you to understand. And I think maybe now you do. He hung up. I sat on my kitchen floor for an hour after that call. He was right about everything. I didn't care that I hurt him. Not really. I cared that I felt guilty. I cared that people judged me. But his actual pain? His actual heartbreak? I put that in a box and moved on. Because I had Daniel. Because I was happy. Because my happiness mattered more than his pain. That's who I am. That's who Daniel figured out he was marrying. Work has been hell. I finally went back yesterday. Everyone knows. Of course everyone knows. Daniel's company partners with mine. His friends work with my friends. This isn't a city. It's a small town in business clothes. My desk had a sympathy card when I arrived. Thinking of you during this difficult time. Like someone died. Someone did die. The version of me that people respected. Sarah from accounting cornered me at lunch. I'm so sorry about the wedding. What happened? Cold feet, I said. The lie I'd been telling everyone. That's not what I heard. My stomach dropped. What did you hear? I heard your mom told him about your ex. About how you left him for Daniel while you were still together. That's not exactly what happened. But it's close. I didn't answer. Look, Sarah said, lowering her voice. I'm not judging. My sister did something similar. She was with her boyfriend for 5 years, met someone at work, started having feelings, eventually left him. It happens. It's not the same. Why not? Because your sister probably told her boyfriend the truth. I lied. I kept lying. That's the difference. Sarah looked uncomfortable. Well, I'm still sorry. Losing a relationship is hard. But she moved away from me after that. Sat at a different table. That's been happening all week. People being polite but distant. Like I'm contagious. Maybe I am. Daniel finally responded to my texts yesterday. After 47 messages, he sent one back. Stop contacting me. My lawyer will be in touch about the apartment lease and deposits. Lose my number. I called him immediately. He answered. I told you not to contact me. Please, Daniel. Please just let me explain. Explain what? That you lied to me for 4 years? That our entire relationship started while you were with someone else? That you kept him as a backup plan while you decided if I was worth the risk? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Because your mom laid it out pretty clearly. You met me while you were with Marcus. We started talking every day. You came to Seattle and we did everything but sleep together. Then you went home and lied to his face for 6 more weeks. I was scared. I didn't know if you felt the same way. So you hedged your bets. Kept him around just in case I didn't want you. That's not love. That's strategy. I loved you. I love you. You loved what I represented. An upgrade. A better option. But you didn't love me enough to be honest. Not then, not for 4 years after. I wanted to tell you. So many times. But I was scared you'd leave. Guess what? I left anyway. The only difference is I wasted 4 years first. 4 years planning a future with someone who doesn't exist. Because the person I thought I knew wouldn't do what you did. Wouldn't lie that easily. Wouldn't use someone as a safety net. I'm not that person anymore. He laughed. It was bitter. Yes, you are. You're doing it right now. You're not sorry you lied. You're sorry you got caught. If your mom hadn't told me, would you have? At the altar? On our honeymoon? Our 10th anniversary? I couldn't answer because I knew the truth. Never. I would have never told him. That's what I thought, Daniel said. Lose my number. Move on. Do to the next guy what you did to Marcus and me. But leave me out of it. He hung up. I tried calling back. He blocked me. I tried texting from a different number. He blocked that too. I showed up at his new apartment 2 days ago. His roommate answered. One of his groomsmen. He doesn't want to see you. Please. 5 minutes. That's all I need. He's not here. Then I'll wait. He told me you might do this. He said to tell you that if you show up again, he'll file a restraining order. A restraining order? That's insane, is it? You've called him 80 times in 2 weeks. You've texted from multiple numbers. You showed up at his work. That's literally stalking. I'm not stalking him. I love him. I just need to talk to him. You had 4 years to talk to him. You chose to lie instead. Now he's chosen to move on. Respect that. He closed the door in my face. I sat in my car outside Daniel's apartment for 3 hours. He never came home. Or maybe he did and left when he saw my car. I don't know. I finally left when a neighbor called the cops. The officer was nice about it. Told me to go home. Told me harassment won't fix things. I wanted to scream at him. This isn't harassment. This is fighting for my relationship. This is not giving up. But I didn't scream. I went home. I've been home for 2 days now. Haven't left. Haven't showered. Haven't done anything but scroll through old photos of Daniel and me. We looked so happy. We were happy. How does happiness just evaporate because of things that happened before we were even serious? That's the question I keep asking myself. But I know the answer. It evaporates because it wasn't built on truth. It was built on what I wanted him to know. The edited version. The version where I'm the good guy who just fell out of love naturally and moved on respectfully. Not the version where I auditioned him while my boyfriend cooked me dinner. Where I kissed him in Seattle while Marcus thought I was networking. Where I lied because the truth was inconvenient. My best friend Julia came over yesterday. She has a key. She let herself in, took one look at me, and started cleaning. You can't live like this, she said, throwing away old food containers. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're falling apart. My life fell apart. I'm just matching the energy. She sat down next to me on the couch. Talk to me. Real talk. What actually happened? So I told her. Everything. Not the edited version I'd been telling people. The real version. Julia listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. Say something, I begged. I don't know what to say. I love you. But that was really messed up. I know. Do you? Because you keep calling it a mistake. One mistake. But it was dozens of choices. Every text to Daniel while you were with Marcus. Every lie you told. Every day you didn't come clean. Those were all choices. I know that now. Do you? Or do you just know that you got caught? I didn't answer. I need to ask you something, Julia said. And I need you to be honest with me. If your mom hadn't told Daniel, would you ever have told him? I wanted to. That's not what I asked. Would you have? I thought about lying. But what was the point? No. Probably not. Why not? Because it would hurt him. Because he was happy not knowing. Because I was happy. Why ruin that? Because it was his right to know. Because you took away his choice. He thought he was marrying someone honest, someone who left her ex respectfully and then started dating him. That's the story you told. But that's not what happened. It's close to what happened. Close isn't the same as true. And you know what scares me? You still don't see it. You still think the problem is that he found out. Not that you lied. I see it. I swear I see it. Then why are you sitting here feeling sorry for yourself instead of actually changing? Why are you stalking Daniel instead of respecting his boundary? Why are you mad at your mom for telling the truth instead of mad at yourself for lying? I started crying. Because if I get mad at myself, I have to admit that I'm not the person I thought I was. I have to admit that I'm selfish and dishonest and I hurt people when it's convenient. And if I admit that, then what? Who am I? Julia hugged me. You're someone who messed up. Someone who can learn from this. But you have to actually learn. You can't just wait for Daniel to forgive you and go back to pretending. What if I can't learn? What if this is just who I am? Then the next relationship will end the same way. And the one after that. And you'll spend your life wondering why people keep leaving when you were being so nice to them. Because being nice isn't the same as being good. She left an hour later. Told me to shower, eat something, and start therapy. I haven't done any of those things. I've just been sitting here, thinking about what she said. Being nice isn't the same as being good. I've been nice my whole life. Polite. Friendly. Thoughtful. But good? Actually good? I don't think so. Good people don't lie to their partner's face for 6 weeks. Good people don't use other people as safety nets. Good people don't build their happiness on someone else's pain and call it fate. I did all those things. And I didn't even feel that bad about it. Not until it cost me something I wanted. That's what Daniel saw. That's what my mom saw. That's what Marcus always knew but couldn't prove. I'm not the villain in my story. But I'm not the hero either. I'm just the person who wanted what she wanted and didn't care enough about who got hurt along the way. And now I'm alone. The wedding gifts started arriving this week. People who didn't get the cancellation notice in time. Every package is a reminder of what I lost. I've been putting them in my closet, unopened. Can't return them without explaining why. Can't donate them without facing what they represent. So they just sit there. Like everything else in my life now. Sitting. Waiting. Going nowhere. My phone buzzed this morning. For a second I thought it was Daniel. It was my mom. We need to talk. Come to dinner Sunday. Please. I don't want to see her. Don't want to hear how this was all for my own good. But I have nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do. So I'll go. I'll sit across from her and listen to her explain why destroying my life was an act of love. And maybe, if I'm being honest, I'll finally admit that she didn't destroy my life. I did that myself. She just made sure everyone knew. Sunday dinner with my mom. I showed up 20 minutes late because I sat in her driveway trying to convince myself to leave. She answered the door with a hug. I stood there like a statue and let it happen. Come in, sweetheart. I made your favorite. Chicken parmesan. Like we were celebrating something instead of dissecting the corpse of my life. We ate in silence for 10 minutes. The chicken tasted like cardboard. Everything tastes like cardboard now. You look thin, she said finally. I'm not hungry much these days. You need to eat. Take care of yourself. Why? So I can be healthy and miserable instead of unhealthy and miserable? She set down her fork. I know you hate me right now. I don't hate you. I don't know what I feel. You feel betrayed. I get that. But someday you'll understand why I did it. Will I? Because right now it feels like you chose being right over my happiness. You got to prove your point and I lost everything. You didn't lose everything. You lost a relationship that was built on lies. That's not the same thing. To you, maybe. To me, I lost the man I love. The man I was supposed to marry in 5 days. The man who was supposed to be my forever. And you took that from me. No, honey. You took that from yourself. Years ago. I just made sure he knew about it before he legally tied himself to you. I wanted to throw my plate. Wanted to scream. Instead, I just sat there. Did you know he'd leave? I asked. When you told him, did you know he'd cancel the wedding? She was quiet for a moment. I thought he might. Yes. And you told him anyway? Yes. Why? What gives you the right to make that choice? Because I'm your mother. And I couldn't watch you trick a good man into marrying someone he doesn't really know. That's not love. That's fraud. Fraud? You think I defrauded him? Didn't you? You presented yourself as someone honest. Someone who ended her previous relationship respectfully before starting a new one. That's not who you are. That's who you wanted him to think you are. People don't tell their partners everything about their past relationships. That's normal. There's a difference between privacy and deception. You weren't protecting your privacy. You were hiding your character. There's a difference. I pushed my plate away. You don't get it. You've been married to Dad for 35 years. You got your happy ending. You don't know what it's like out there. How hard it is to find someone. How scary it is to mess up and lose them. So you thought lying was better? Safer? I thought what he didn't know wouldn't hurt him. But it did hurt him. It hurt him worse because you waited so long. Because he planned a whole future with you. Because he stood up in front of his friends and family and talked about how lucky he was to find someone so honest and real. Your deception made him look like a fool. That hit differently. I'd been so focused on my own pain that I hadn't thought about his humiliation. His family flying in for a wedding that wasn't happening. His friends asking questions he couldn't answer without admitting his fiancé wasn't who he thought she was. I didn't mean to humiliate him. But you did. Just like you didn't mean to destroy Marcus. But you did that too. You keep not meaning to hurt people while you do exactly that. At some point, intent stops mattering. So what am I supposed to do now? Just accept that I'm a terrible person and die alone? You're not a terrible person. You're a person who did terrible things. There's a difference. But only if you actually change. Everyone keeps saying that. Change. Like it's simple. Like I can just decide to be different and it happens. It's not simple. It's brutal. You have to look at every ugly thing you've done and own it. Not explain it away. Not justify it. Own it. Then you have to do the work to be different. Therapy. Self-reflection. Actually caring about other people as much as you care about yourself. I do care about other people. She gave me a look. That mom look that sees through everything. Do you? Or do you care about how other people feel about you? Because those aren't the same thing. I didn't answer because I didn't have an answer. When you hurt Marcus, she continued, were you actually sorry about his pain? Or were you sorry that people judged you for it? Both. Which one kept you up at night? I thought about that. Really thought about it. People judging me, I admitted quietly. That's what I thought. And that's what needs to change. You need to care about the actual damage you cause, not just how it makes you look. We sat in silence. I could hear the clock ticking in the hallway. Every second feeling like an accusation. I got a message from Marcus, I said finally. He called me. Told me he understands now what he did to deserve what I did to him. Which was nothing. He did nothing wrong and I destroyed him anyway. What did you say? I said I was sorry. He said I wasn't sorry then, only now. He's right. Are you sorry now? Yes. No. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm alone. I'm sorry Daniel left. I'm sorry everyone knows. Am I sorry I hurt Marcus? I think so. But how do I know if I'm actually sorry or just sorry for myself? Time will tell. If you learned from this, if you actually change, then you were sorry. If you do the same thing to the next person, then you weren't. There won't be a next person. No one will date me now. Everyone knows what I did. Good. You shouldn't date anyone right now. You should work on yourself. Figure out why you lie so easily. Why you use people. Why you can't just be honest even when honesty is hard. You make it sound like I'm some kind of monster. You're not a monster. But you're not healthy, and until you get healthy, you'll keep hurting people and wondering why they leave. I stood up. I should go. Don't run away from this conversation. I'm not running. I'm leaving. There's a difference. I grabbed my purse and headed for the door. She followed me. Wait. There's something else I need to tell you. I turned around. What? What else could you possibly need to say? Marcus tried to hurt himself. 2 years ago. 6 months after you left him. The world stopped. What? He tried to hurt himself. He's okay now. He got help. But I need you to know that your choices have consequences that ripple further than you think. How do you know this? His mother and I are in the same book club. She told me. She didn't know about your connection at the time. Just needed someone to talk to. I felt sick. Why are you telling me this? Because you need to understand the weight of what you do to people. Marcus isn't just some guy you used to date. He's a real person who is so broken by what you did that he couldn't see a way forward. That's serious. That matters. You think I don't know that? You think I don't feel awful now? I think you're starting to. Finally. And it's painful. But it's necessary. I left without saying goodbye. I sat in my car for 20 minutes before I could drive. Shaking. Crying. Trying to breathe. Marcus tried to hurt himself. Because of me. Not entirely because of me. I know that. Mental health is complicated. But I was part of it. My lies. My betrayal. My coldness. I'd thought about him sometimes over the years. Wondered if he'd moved on. Hoped he was happy. But I never thought. I never considered that I damaged him that deeply. I drove home on autopilot. Got inside. Collapsed on the floor. This is what I've been running from. The actual weight of what I've done. Not the inconvenience of people judging me. The real, substantial damage I caused. Marcus in a hospital somewhere, fighting to survive pain I caused. Daniel telling his daughter why his wedding was cancelled, trying to explain that adults lie sometimes and it hurts. My mom carrying my secrets, watching me build a life on lies, knowing it would eventually collapse. All of it rippling out from my choices. My convenient little choices that seemed so small at the time. I haven't left my apartment in 3 days since that dinner. Work has stopped calling. I think they're going to fire me. I don't care. Julia stopped by yesterday. I didn't let her in. Please talk to me, she said through the door. I can't. Why not? Because I don't know what to say. Because everything I say is a lie or an excuse and I'm tired of hearing myself talk. Then just listen. Let me in and just listen. I opened the door. She came in, looked around at the mess, didn't comment. Just sat down and waited. My mom told me something, I said. About Marcus. About how bad it got after I left. I told her what my mom had said. Julia's face went pale. Oh my God. Yeah, that's not your fault. You know that, right? His mental health isn't your responsibility, isn't it? At least partly. I lied to him for months. Used him. Discarded him. How is that not my fault? Because you didn't make him do that. He made that choice. A choice he made because of pain I caused. We sat in silence. I need to tell you something, Julia said finally. And you're going to hate me for it. What? I knew. About Daniel. About the overlap with Marcus. Not all the details, but I knew something was off. The timeline was too convenient. You were too happy too fast. And I didn't say anything. Why not? Because you seemed happy. Because I didn't want to be the friend who ruined it. Because it was easier to pretend I didn't notice than to confront you about it. So you've been judging me this whole time? Not judging. Worried. I thought maybe you'd gotten away with it. That it would be okay. But I should have said something. I should have pushed you to be honest. I'm sorry. Everyone's sorry. Everyone's sorry, but no one can fix it. Because it can't be fixed. You can't undo it. You can only move forward differently. How? How do I move forward knowing I broke someone so badly they wanted to die? Therapy. Real therapy. Not just talking to someone for 6 weeks and declaring yourself healed. Actual, long-term work on why you do what you do. What if I can't change? What if this is just who I am? Then you'll be alone. Forever. Because this version of you destroys everything she touches. She wasn't being mean. She was being honest. And somehow that was worse. I should go, she said after a while. But I need you to promise me something. What? Promise me you won't do anything stupid. Promise me you'll get help. I'm not going to hurt myself, if that's what you're asking. That is what I'm asking. I'm not Marcus. I don't self-destruct. I destroy other people and walk away. That's not funny. It's not meant to be. It's just true. She left. I sat in the dark. I started therapy yesterday. First session. The therapist asked me why I was there. My fiancé left me 3 days before our wedding because he found out I lied to him about my past. What did you lie about? I was with someone else when we met. I emotionally cheated. Then I left him and lied about the timeline. Made it seem like I ended things first, then met my fiancé. But that's not what happened. Why did you lie? Because the truth made me look bad. And now? Now I'm alone. Now everyone knows. Now I can't escape it. Do you want to escape it? I thought about that. Did I want to escape it? Or did I want to escape the consequences while keeping the person I was? I don't know. That's honest, at least. We talked for 50 minutes. She gave me homework. Write down every lie I've told in the last 5 years. Every manipulation. Every time I prioritized my comfort over someone else's truth. I've been working on that list for 2 days. It's 7 pages long. Little lies. Big lies. Lies of omission. Lies that seemed kind. Lies that were definitely not kind. I lied to my boss about why I needed time off. Lied to my friends about where I was going. Lied to Daniel about running into my ex when I'd actually messaged him first. Lied about being fine when I wasn't. Lied about not being fine when I was. Lies stacked on more lies until I can't remember what truth even feels like. The therapist was right. This isn't about Daniel. This isn't about Marcus. This is about me. About the fact that I lie reflexively. That I shape reality to make myself look good. That I'd rather manipulate than be vulnerable. And I don't know how to stop. I got a letter yesterday. From Daniel's lawyer. Finalizing our lease termination. Splitting our shared accounts. Making it official. There was a handwritten note tucked inside. I hope you get help. I hope you figure out why you do this to people. Not for me. Not for your next relationship. For you. Because living like this must be exhausting. And lonely. Even when you're with someone. He's right. It is lonely. I've been surrounded by people my entire life and I've been completely alone the whole time. Because no one knows the real me. I've never let them. I've been so busy managing everyone's perception that I forgot to actually be a person worth knowing. I found Marcus on social media last night. I know I shouldn't have. But I did. He looks happy. Really happy. There's a woman in his photos. She's pretty. Kind eyes. They're holding hands in front of a lake. His smile reaches his eyes in a way it never did with me. He survived me. He got help and healed and found someone else. I'm happy for him. And jealous. And ashamed. He did the work. He faced his pain. He came out the other side. I'm still here. Still in the wreckage. Still trying to figure out how to be a person instead of a performance. My mom called this morning. How are you? I'm going to therapy. Good. That's good. Is it? Because it feels awful. I have to look at every horrible thing I've done and sit with it. I can't explain it away or minimize it. I just have to. Feel it. That's how healing works. It feels like dying first. Does it get better? Eventually. If you keep going. If you do the actual work instead of just showing up and checking a box. What if I do the work and I'm still alone? What if I fix myself and no one wants the fixed version either? Then you'll be alone but whole. Which is better than being with someone but hollow. I don't know if I believe that. You will. Give it time. We hung up. I sat with her words. Alone but whole. I've never been whole. I've always been fragments of what people wanted me to be. Shape-shifting. Adapting. Lying. Maybe being whole means being alone for a while. Maybe forever. I don't know if I'm strong enough for that, but I don't have a choice anymore. Daniel's gone. Marcus is gone. My old life is gone.